Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to January 5th, episode 1740. My name's Sean Murphy. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. This conversation this morning is about forgiveness. And it's not about us forgiving others. It's about us forgiving us, which is usually one of the more difficult things that we ever want to do. And the reason that this is so valuable and so important, one of the New Year's resolutions, I like to call them revolutions, because it's a battle, it's a fight, it's a struggle until forgiveness should be one of your New Year's resolutions. Forgiving yourself for TikToking too much or scrolling too much or doing whatever too much or not drinking your water or not exercising. We got to forgive yourself, because if you don't, that just, it's like the wound that never heals. I think my perception, right? Perceptions or opinions are like eyebrows. Everybody's got a couple of them. I believe that if we choose to forgive ourselves, we take back our power. The reason we have to be so strong, the reason we choose to be so strong and tough, especially ladies, I've never been one, but I can't imagine how tough you have to be and how tough social media has made you to become tough. You got to become powerful. You got to become strong. You got to do this. You got to. I remember I forget what the name of the commercial was. Is I can. What is it? I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan. Angeli, right? I think that's what it was. I can be a woman. But I can be a woman in a man's world. And this whole idea, I don't think it's gotten any less effort to become successful in today's society. So at some point, we have to forgive ourselves. We just have to say, I forgive you. Sounds funny. You feel your old story literally jump right up in your face. If you want to fight, if you want to argue, if you want the best absolute emotional engagement in your own mind, just say, I forgive you. Not I'm sorry. We always say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Too many people say I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If you want to be sorry, apologize. Just say I apologize. Takes on a different feeling. Say it, I'm sorry. And then say I apologize. Feels different, doesn't it? Now say I forgive me. We won't even forgive other people. And the forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. Forgiveness is for you. This collar's going a little kooky. I apologize. So I want you to become aware of the power of forgiveness. When you forgive, you free yourself. I forgive you. Done. Over. Not I forgive you with any attachments, or if they do that again, they're going to do it again. You're going to do it again. But the reason you're going to do it again, have you ever thought about why you do the failure things over and over and over and over and over? Have you ever thought about why you do that? Why you repeat that? It's an addiction to approval. I know, but I don't really give a rat's patookie about anybody else. Jim Rohn would say that's a clue. That's a clue. If you say, right, what you resist persists. There's another phrase, and I think it how they defend thyself or something. It's a very philosophical phrase. It's Farm Boy doesn't really get it. Don't remember it. So say I forgive myself. I forgive myself for all things in my past. See, part of this is some of the things in your past you won't let go because it's your identity. You're not forgiving it to forget it. You're forgiving it so it stops sucking up your power. You have become so strong because you're working on very little power. When you have your ultimate power, you don't have to show how strong you are. Become aware of that. When you sit and understand that you forgive yourself for all things, just say, I forgive myself for all things. Your brain is instantly going for a list. Well, I'll forgive myself for that, for this, for that, for this, but not for that. And this is happening at a subconscious level. This is why it's necessary to repeat it. Because sometimes we have chosen to not allow the door to our subconscious to open up. So, like in a raid, imagine the TV show SWAT. They're coming to the front door. You're going to your front door of your subconscious, and you may have to kick it in the first time. Because once you kick it in, all you want to throw in is forgiveness. Just imagine opening a door and throwing in the forgiveness bomb and let it explode over all of your thoughts. Yeah, there's a lot of resistance. I can feel it. I can feel everyone who listens to this, even in the recording, I will feel it. The resistance you have to this. You got to ask yourself, what's my story if I forgive myself? Let that sit in your pipe and smoke it. What's my story if I if I become the forgiven today? For those of us in a particular religion, we go to confession and we get absolved of our sins, and we've got to do some work. We do 3 Hail Marys and 4 Our Fathers and a 9 church novena. Whatever it is, we have to pay the price for our forgiveness. And it's in homage and it's in gratitude. What happens if you pay your price? What happens if you forgive you now? What was the price? What's the new story? It's probably one of the most difficult things you'll ever do. If you got more money today, right? You probably want more money. You want more income. Don't you have to forgive yourself for not having it sooner? You know you can have it. You know the money, there's an amount of money right now that you have already earned. You have already reached that point. And then you slid backwards. I'm not even going to ask you. I know we all know somebody who has reached a pretty significant level and then they slid backwards. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. You know why they slid back? They didn't forgive themselves for achieving their new target. Why would I need to forgive myself for reaching my higher level? Because you change. And everybody around you congratulated you and gave you accolades, and you got recognition that you felt you didn't deserve, because it really wasn't that tough to get there. Once it started, once it flowed, once it moved, you said, yeah, this is good. I like this. This is good. I can do this. And then the accolades came. Recognition is what men and women die for and babies cry for. The challenge is when we get it, we have not been wired. We have not forgiven ourselves for receiving it. You want to know how we know this? You want to know how I know this? Because when somebody said thank you, you said no problem. That's avoiding forgiveness. What the hell are you talking about? Hang on, hang with me. Have you ever said to somebody when they said thank you, you said no problem? Drop a P in the chat if you've ever said, somebody said thank you and you said no problem. You want to become aware of something real quick? You want to hear? So say, I forgive myself for saying no problem. Just say that before we start, because your brain is about to go squirrely. If you say no problem, what does that mean to the other person? That it was a problem. Think about it. We get wired and we are taught how to beat ourselves up because we can't forgive ourselves by saying thank you. You're welcome. That's forgiveness. When somebody says, hey, no, hey, thanks for that. No problem. What you're really saying is it was a problem and now it's no problem. Come on. You know this. You know this happens. Become aware of it. This idea that all of a sudden that you can change, just say you're welcome. Because that, when you say no worries, no problem, thank you, you're welcome, it was my pleasure. That's forgiveness. The forgiveness is that I'm good. I can do good. I do good in the world. Why do you have to forgive yourself to do good in the world? Well, I don't. Yes, you do. Because you say things like no problem. Yeah, it was nothing at all. It was nothing at all. They just said thank you for something that was significant in their life. Thank you for that. That was nothing. How am I supposed to feel as the receiver of nothing? So you haven't forgiven yourself for becoming greater in the simplest of things. I know it's crazy and it sounds odd and your body is fighting me. How many of you are saying, this doesn't make sense? And if you're saying that, congratulations, you're on the verge. You're awakening. Hey, thanks for that. No problem. Oh my gosh, what a slap in the face. Well, thanks for letting me, thanks for dealing with your problem. Thanks for dealing with your problem. I'm glad that it was really no big problem for you. I'm sorry that it was a problem. Could you imagine the subconscious that's happening, the dialogue that's happening at an energetic level? No problem. Oh, I'm sorry for making you have a problem. I don't want to ask anymore. I don't want to ask for help because every time I ask people for help, it's a problem. Right now, say, I forgive myself for no problem. Listen, if you're not willing to hear this differently, not that I can't help you, I sure as hell can help you. It's you're not letting yourself help you. If from this day forward, you say no problem to your kids, to your spouse, to your team members, to your coworkers, to your church-going friends, if you say the words no problem, it absolutely means that it was a problem. Could you imagine? I know this is going to be extreme, but you know how I work. I shouldn't say but. You know how I work. Imagine if somebody said thank you and you said F you. Follow up. We'll just leave it at follow up. You know what I mean. Would you ever say that to somebody? Hey, man, thank you. F you. With a smile on your face. F you. With a smile on your face. You know what would happen? No one would ever ask you for help again. You know what? You're almost saying that with no problem. How is that? How is saying no problem like F you? Because you're telling them it was a problem. But you're saying it was no problem for me. You have problems, person that is being assisted, but it was no problem for me because I'm bigger than that. I can deal with that insignificant thing that is no problem for me, and I'm okay with helping you deal with your problem. This isn't about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. And when we say no problem, we are setting up a certain way that is wired into your children, into you. And into all those around you, because no problem isn't an acceptable answer. Could you imagine the next time somebody says no problem going, I'm sorry for making it a problem for you? They're going to go, what are you talking about? You're really going to catch them off guard and you might get into a fight. So when somebody says no problem, that's understand from this moment forward that it was a problem for them. And they are justifying their giving. They are wired to think that their giving is a problem. Think about it. This is kind of that switch. Here's a Wayne Dyer moment. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Remember when I say that, have you lost your mind? It's not you who have lost your mind. It's they have lost you in their mind. And we get wired from childhood to say, no problem. And we go, oh, it was no problem for them. No, what it really is that it was a problem. And they're justifying in their own body that it was no problem to be of service to you, when really it was a problem. Change the way we look at things, and the things we look at change. So how do we deal with this? It's required by your body, not by me, not as an educator, not as a teacher, not as a certified trainer, a coach, somebody who's helped the human potential for 40 years. You have to decide, I need an upgrade to my hardware, right? Because the software, no problem, is the software. It's the result. You are the printed version of your thoughts. Wait, what? What did he just, what? Whoa, Skippy. What did you just say? I said, your body and your environment is the printed reality of your thoughts. You know, we have 3D printers and we program it. You like my computer sounds? I don't know anybody that does make the computer that makes sense, but you program it and you hit print, and you are the printed version. Think about it. You are the printed version of your programming. Your environment is the printed version. Your income is the printed version. Your relationships are the printed version of your programming, not theirs, yours. It's no problem. It is a problem. And you keep saying it's not a problem, and it is a problem. And you have to decide today that you will no longer have problems. You will only have solutions. Imagine if somebody says to you, thank you, and instead of saying no problem, you say, it was a fun solution, wasn't it? Just say that right now. It was a fun solution, wasn't it? Drop an F in the chat if you feel different in your body. We haven't even done anything for anybody. But you're now saying, you're now upgrading your programming, you're changing your hardware. That was fun. That was a fun solution, wasn't it? Take no problem out of your life. It is worse than try. See, now you start to run the new hardware, because it takes effort. What does the hardware require? Thinking. We operate at, I don't know, 70, 80% of our day is habitual. How many of you woke up in the same bed in the same way? Well, I don't care. Sleep on the couch, sleep in a chair, feel how comfortable or uncomfortable it is to do things different. If you're not willing to attack your habitual self, one of us is going to be in the same place 10 years from now. No problem. It's no problem. It's just as simple as that. Hey, that was a fun solution, wasn't it? Rather than telling somebody that you just helped to F off. We're all wired to do it. That was no problem. I work with Mason on a daily basis. When he helps me, I say thank you. And he goes, no problem. And I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're welcome. No problem. We think that we love that we're doing this. We have to forgive ourselves for having problems. It was a problem. And I forgive myself for thinking that. This word, I don't know what it's like. It's like talking about sex. We're not going to talk about sex. And if anybody just spit their coffee out, I have one person in mind who might have done that. We're not going to talk about sex, but could you talk about, I mean, I dealt when I was vice president of a network marketing company, we had a female relationship enhancement cream, and it was used in the private area. Could you imagine talking about that kind of stuff? Well, we say the ones who do feel comfortable, well, it's nature, it's natural. It's natural to talk about female parts and how they become stimulated. Oh my God, how many of you are feeling uncomfortable right now? He's not gonna talk about the hoo-ha, is he? We start to blush. It's no problem. I'm sorry to embarrass you. It's no problem. You're dang right it was a problem because we're not comfortable with that. But when would be a good time for us to get comfortable? I'm not sure why my camera keeps getting fuzzy on me. Oh, I got to take the mic out. So, kind of a new way to look at things, right? That was a fun solution, wasn't it? Become aware of what you learned and what you like. So, it's okay to have more. It's okay for you to be more. And I would encourage you, if you would like to reduce the amount of problems you have in your life, stop saying that you don't have any. No problem, no problem. Thank you, no problem. Stop insulting others. It is literally an insult. That's why nobody wants to ask for help. You want to know why nobody wants to ask for help? Because every time you ask for help, it's a freaking problem. Because you're going to hear it. Aren't you going to hear it? How many of you have kind of justified that when somebody says no problem? Oh, it wasn't a problem for him. But you know it was a problem. I'd encourage you to stop saying no problem. I'd say, hey, listen, it was a fun solution, wasn't it? So take that and hoo-haws and go have a great day. I hope you have a magnificent day. I'm going to go have a conversation. I'm going to go have a conversation with some of the VIPs. If you want to join us there, you can go to unlearnme.live and join us in what today will be somewhat of a fun dialogue this Friday. All right, everybody. I hope you have an amazing day. And it was fun to find some new solutions, wasn't it? I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling, no problem, never again. Misfit. I'll see y'all where? I'll see you at the next event. Love you, love you, love you. Bye for now.